This is Roger and Olivia giving a quick demonstration of SpinCar. We're going to walk through the general process. We already have a vehicle stage, which is a 2017 Nissan Armada. Now we are using an iPhone 10 hooked up to the B script with the SpinCar app. It does have a wide angle lens, which we leave on there. That is very helpful throughout the process. The SpinCar app is already loaded on our iPhone 10. Additionally, we have a tripod device, which is our Ricoh device. That's for the interior spins, but you do the close-ups and you do the 360 exterior on the iPhone 10. So without further ado, we're going to click plus. We're going to plug in our stock number. That's going to load up our vehicle, which is a 2017 Nissan Armada with a rear entertainment system. Okay, so we're going to hit continue. And then we're going to do capture the exterior, and we're going to follow Olivia as he actually does one. So,
I like to start off over here in one area.
Right. You want to start at a consistent point every time.
And end there.
All right. So I'll talk while he focuses on that because he is trying to keep a consistent distance with the vehicle, the same amount of distance from the top of the vehicle as the bottom of the vehicle as he's moving around. We've done so many of these that we've gotten used to that, keeping a good pace. Between the software and the B script, it helps compensate for bouncing and so forth, so that usually isn't much of a problem. Now that's the preview. You'll notice he kept a really good distance from the top of the vehicle and the bottom of the vehicle and from each side. And that shows how that's going to load up there. That gives a preview, which is a really excellent job, a good balance there. So that completes a exterior. It'll also tell you your degrees, and once you reach 360, that's when you stop your video at that point. We're going to press done. All right, so we have captured the exterior. Now we're going to move on to capturing close-ups of the vehicle. The first one is the SRP, which is search results page. So that'll show up on your website or on cars.com. So we're going to take that. So you're wanting to get a good 3/4 viewpoint of the vehicle. All right, and then you click done. And it'll actually move you through each series of what you're going to take on the vehicle. So that way you're getting good, consistent photos, and you're not having to memorize what you should be doing next. Okay? So it tells you what we're going to move to next on the vehicle. So these close-ups will in turn become the hot spots that are available to the customer that they can click on and see the close-up of that particular item on the vehicle. So that's driver seat controls. Next we're doing the driver's seat. Steering wheel. These are pre-programmed, but you're also able to do customized ones as well.
I like to put my feet to the outside so I don't get.
So you don't get your feet in the. Perfect.
That way it's nice and open over there. You don't get your feet in the shop.
Awesome.
Next is going to be center console.
Center console. All right.
And continue.
Perfect.
Backup camera.
Backup camera. A little bit of background noise because we do have the actual video playing. We believe it's important to show the items in operation.
Climate control. Okay. Now it says sunroof and moonroof. I like to step outside, get the full picture of it.
Perfect.
Now since I'm outside of the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and add bows. In order to do that, I would push the X, push the add sign. I like to capitalize it, write bows, and add a photo. That enables me to take the bows picture.
Okay. And you get a warning on the screen that if you're not at the proper orientation, you need to rotate the device. So it also helps you keep your photos in the proper orientation.
Okay. Since the next one is going to be engine, we're going to finish the interior by adding rear DVD also. So I'll click again, add, and type in rear DVD and add photo.
Right.
That way I can finish with the interior of the process. I like to catch both screens if possible, so I put it in as far as I can and snap it.
Right, perfect.
Next will be the engine.
So those custom photos, you'll have to remember that you'll have to add on the desktop application for SpinCar, you would add those in. That's very easy to do. So I'll show you that later in the process.
And then I would continue, I would find where I left
Right.
off, and it says engine. By clicking it, you can continue exactly where you left off.
Yeah. Actually, keeping the wide angle lens on the B script and keeping your iPhone 10 helps eliminate accidentally dropping a very expensive phone, and it really helps you in being able to get the interior shots. As you can tell, you really get a good look at the seats.
Third row is next.
Okay. The wide angle lens, it really enables you to be able to move in and out of the vehicle, and you really get a lot of the seat service when you're taking those types of shots.
Followed by the trunk.
All right.
After the trunk, you will see how I do skip a few steps because I don't have certain ones, and I'll show you just after this picture. So now it's telling me to go to the truck bed, but since this is not,
But it's not a truck.
it does not have a bed.
Right.
I skip over it. So
Right.
I just click the right
Skipping,
arrow.
you just do that.
Tow package is not able to be seen because it's hidden.
Right.
So I skip that too.
Right.
And then it gives me the last shot, which is a
Rear three-quarter.
Rear three-quarter shot.
Right. Yeah. Because these are going to be the close-ups that are going to be the high-resolution close-ups you're going to show on the website. So I like to have the front three-quarter and the rear three-quarter.
Now I push X and push back one more time, and that gives me the option to do the capture.
Right. So now the capture close-ups, those are already done. The system itself will also add some other exterior shots in there as well. That's automatically done for you that you don't have to take as a close-up. So now we're going to go to the interior.
Yeah, let's go grab the interior camera.
Okay. So now we're grabbing the Ricoh device, which is already set up on our tripod, excuse me.
Turn it on from here.
We're turning it on because it's going to sync Wi-Fi with the iPhone.
Yeah.
So we turn that on.
This is the back. This is the front.
Right. So the lights always point to the back of the vehicle. That's
Exactly.
important to remember. All right, perfect. So we're going to set that up in the center. Okay, perfect. You want to make sure that it's aligned straight up and down and that it's aligned the other way as well. And that has a fisheye, so that's going to take the interior 360-degree view. Now we're going to go back to the iPhone and we are going to sync it up via Wi-Fi. So come there, go to your settings, go to the particular Wi-Fi setup for that device, which is now done. So with that done, we're coming back to the SpinCar app and we're going to capture the interior. Now, we want to get out of the shot, so give us just a moment to get back behind the curtain.
And
All right.
just push play.
Yeah, that's just a preview. All right. Now, when it's running like the spin there, it is actively doing it. Once it is done, it'll give you a preview, and the preview will allow you to look around the 360-degree spin done to the interior to make sure that you don't have a stray salesperson or something like that in the background. So you'll have to hold with this for a little bit because this takes a little bit for it to process.
Typically anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah. All right, so now it's done. You'll notice it's not spinning anymore, okay? And you notice that as he moves the camera physically, it's actually moving around the vehicle, which is a really cool feature. So you can just kind of like pan throughout the vehicle to make sure that you got a good shot and you didn't get any, like I said, a person walking in the background or something of that nature. Now, SpinCar enables you to take more than one interior spin. This is a third row vehicle. So we're going to move to the second row. Olivian is tapping that. He's going to enter the tag as second row so that the customer will know that there's a second row spin to go with that. So he's going to add that. So now we're going to go back over to our device and move the device back to the second row. I know this makes the video a little bit longer, but I think it's worthwhile because you'll often have third row vehicles that have a lot of nice features in them, like rear DVDs and so forth. And this will allow you to show those off to the customer, even though we did take a close-up.
Now it's positioned in the second row, and we just put play, and that starts recording.
Right. Okay. So now we'll just have to bear with as it does the same process for the second row. If you had a vehicle and there was nothing, back there, there was no rear DVDs, rear AC controls, different things like that, you might skip the second row and just go with the first row, which would be fine to do. But in this case, this vehicle is loaded. It's got rear DVDs. This vehicle has the captain chairs. It's got a lot of different things going on in that second row. Also, too, same principle applies. You end up with a preview. So the reason why we like doing this on the vehicle is it gives, oftentimes you're selling this type of vehicle to a family, and it gives them an idea of what their kids can expect to enjoy in the back of the vehicle. So we're going to move on to the third row. Also, too, a person might be shooting a vehicle like an MV passenger van, and you might want to show multiple rows because that's primary reason why a person is buying the vehicle.
I like to put the seat down.
Olivian likes to put the seat down so that the person can get the perspective of, hey, the kids are sitting in the back. This is how easy it is for them to get out of this third row vehicle. So same principle. Now, you can also physically look through, although we'll get some glare off the glass, you can physically look through the side and kind of get an idea that you're straight and in the proper position there, although it won't show up so good in our camera for this video.
Leave this open.
All right. We leave the door open, create some light, and also gives a good clear picture of how they would exit the third row vehicle. So same principle applies. We'll have to be patient, let it do its thing. That will finish up. The customer will see it on their side. They'll see that there's an inside view in front. Then they'll see an inside view that's named second row. They'll see an inside view that's labeled third row. So they're able to see a panoramic of the entire vehicle from front to back, even though it's a third row vehicle and has a lot of interior to go over. Also, like I said, for vans and stuff like that, like 15 passengers, that might be the primary reason why they're buying the vehicle. So again, we're going to double check our work, make sure there's no stray people in the background. And now you can tell that we have both the see inside, the second row option, and the third row option for the customer, and that will load onto our website. We're going to click the back button. Okay. Now everything is captured, everything's in blue. So now we need to switch off from that interior device over to our regular Wi-Fi, dealership Wi-Fi, okay, which is loading up. Once that is loaded up, we come back to SpinCar. So we're going to load this entire process is going to be uploaded digitally via our Wi-Fi connection. So click the cloud there. Okay, perfect. All right. So now that is loading. It's going to take probably about a minute. This will go from the gray cloud to a blue check mark. Once it goes to the blue check mark, that means that this process is done and you can move on to your next car. Now, some people choose to upload everything at one time. That's fine to do, but on ours, we do it individually by the car. Now, I've already got the desktop application already preloaded for us to save us time. So I'm already in the management screen for Manager for SpinCar for our store. You'll notice that the vehicle is right there. You'll take a look at these buttons. One says Preview. Okay. So on these functions here on the Preview, I'm able to click this. This loads up the vehicle. Then I can see how the customer will see it on the website, right? So I know that the customer can grab a hold of it, they can move it around and so forth, so I can take a look at it. This is where it says see inside. That's the same thing that the customer is going to see on the vehicle. Notice over here it says outside, has a little arrow. You click that. Notice it's got the inside, it's got the second row that we did, third row that we did, and the software will also automatically produce for you a live video which is merging the exterior spin and the interior spin. So just for example, I'm going to go to the second row, and lo and behold, there is our second row spin. The customer can go up and down and sideways and however they want. They can also zoom in and out, which is really cool. So a great feature there. They can switch between outside views and so forth by using that button. They can also control it this way. So a very, very engaging experience. Now, these are the bullet points. So notice where we took the close-up of the wheel. That's where the customer can click on the wheel, and they can click back out and come back exactly where they were. They can go to the inside, okay? They can change back to the outside. Notice that we got, sunroof, moonroof, and these spares through the vehicle, which are hotspots. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to edit those. I can come over to edit hotspots, okay? Let's say, for example, well, I don't really want bows in there, but whatever you click on here is what you're going to be controlling here. So if I want to move the trunk button over a little bit, I just click on trunk and place it right there in that frame, okay? Now what you want to do is make sure that your hotspots show up consistently, roughly in the same spot as they're moving around the vehicle, so you don't get a bunch of bouncing around. I'm going to go to the inside of the vehicle, which is the panoramic. And for example, I might not like hotspots just showing up in here. I might like to move them up and categorize them a little bit to make it easier for the customer so they can see this without a hotspot being laid over top of it. If you choose to do that and you want to do that, it's very easy, okay? So let's, for example, I'm going to go to the sunroof and moonroof, and I'm going to grab it over. I'm going to move it. I'm going to put it in its spot. And then I'm going to switch to the backup camera, and I'm going to move it and put it up here, okay? And then what I'm doing is, I'm deciding, you know what, I want, the nav and all that. I want the hotspots to show across the windshield rather than showing up over the top to make it look cleaner. That's just my personal choice. I noticed that the steering wheel was a little bit off on the steering wheel, so I'm going to take and grab a hold of it, and I'm going to move it over to the steering wheel. Once you're done with that and you're happy with what your results are, maybe I wanted to move this passenger seat back where it's actually on the passenger seat itself. Grab and move that. Driver's seat, that's okay for right now. I'll come back and I'll edit this later outside of this video. But that shows you how to edit your hotspots. Save your changes, hit exit and close this window, and then you can come back to your preview and you can go to the inside and you'll notice how those changes have been made, right? So I've got my sunroof, my moonroof, my backup camera, and my navigation. That's something that you want to do afterwards as a secondary step in the editing process. So this is from the desktop part of it, so I wanted to show you that at the end. Thank you so much for watching.